This is 5 and 10 from Skywatch TV for Friday, August 2nd, 2024. I'm Derek Gilbert. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. We appreciate that very much. Please subscribe, click the bell for notifications, hit that like button, and then stick around after the break because you want to make sure we never get canceled. I'll tell you how. Topic number 5 this week on our Friday 5. Cutting the heads off snakes. We know more about the assassination now of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran earlier this week. It was not, as was believed at first, an aerial strike, an airstrike, missile, drone, something like that. According to the New York Times, Haniyeh was killed by a sophisticated remote-controlled bomb that had been smuggled into the Tehran guest house owned by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, where he was staying. Again, he was there for the inauguration of the new Iranian president. According to the report, which cited 7 Middle Eastern officials, including 2 Iranians who were members of the IRGC, and 1 U.S. official, this explosive device covertly smuggled into the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps building in Tehran. That was about 2 months ago. That's really bold. The Iranian officials, again, members of the IRGC, say the precision of the hit was reminiscent of the remote-controlled machine gun used by a Mossad team to kill a top Iranian nuclear scientist back in 2020. No official comment from Israel on the assassination. They typically don't comment on things like this, but it's been widely blamed on the Israeli government. That has to put some ice in the veins of leaders, other leaders of Hamas, leaders of Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, and others. In a span of 12 hours, Monday and Tuesday, Israel eliminated the number 1 man in Hamas, the number 2 man in Hezbollah. That's him on the right back there. And remember, it was just 2 weeks ago that Mohammed Deif, the head of Hamas military wing in Gaza, was taken out by an Israeli airstrike. Well, Iran is vowing severe punishment. The New York Times also reporting that Ayatollah Khamenei has ordered a direct strike on Israel. Our friends in Israel are waiting for that shoe to drop. Major airlines taking no chances. Delta, United Airlines, Lufthansa, Austrian Airlines, Brussels Airlines, Air India have all canceled upcoming flights to Israel. This came after Lufthansa flight from Munich, that is, to Tel Aviv, landed in Larnaca, Cyprus on Thursday morning, then turned around and returned to Germany. The crew refused to fly into Israel. Now, back in May, when we flew to Israel for our Solidarity mission, and Sharon and I are planning another one for early November, by the way. You can find out more about that at our personal website, gilberthouse.org/travel. The crew, the KLM crew, which is Royal Netherlands Airlines, refused to fly. Well, we were told it was to refuel in Cyprus. We were flying from Amsterdam to Tel Aviv. It stopped in Larnaca for 30 minutes, we were told, to refuel, but they changed out the crew. Apparently the crew there not willing to fly into Israel at that time either. We'll wait and see what happens. Obviously, this is something that has got the whole Middle East on edge. Remember also Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan threatening to invade Israel over this. So where this goes, we shall see. Topic number 4, anger in Israel. Meanwhile, there is a bit of a crisis inside Israel over a scandal that's erupted at a prison in the south where captured Hamas terrorists are being held. On Monday, Israeli military police detained Israeli soldiers suspected of raping a Palestinian prisoner at the Sede Taman prison in southern Israel. Israeli media reported that the prisoner was transferred from the prison camp to a hospital with an injury to his anus that was so severe he could not walk. When Israeli military police went to Sede Taman to detain the soldiers suspected of forcibly sodomizing the Palestinian man, they were met with resistance. Haaretz reporting that according to a security source, the Israeli soldiers at the facility refused to leave, barricaded themselves in. They also reportedly used pepper spray on the military police. Police ended up detaining 9 out of the 10 IDF soldiers suspected of abusing the prisoner. A number of these will be prosecuted for what they have allegedly done. Members of the Israeli Knesset also took part in the group that stormed Sede Taman prison. Later in the day, protesters stormed Bet Lid, the base where the IDF soldiers are being held. You can understand the anger of Israelis after what happened last October 7th. Again, 1,200 Israelis massacred, another 240 taken captive, 111 have not yet returned home, 39 suspected dead of the 111. But take care when you fight monsters that you do not become a monster yourself. We completely condemn the abuse of prisoners like this. When I say I understand their anger, it does not mean I condone it. But this is the kind of thing that the enemy will use to continue stoking this sort of hatred between people until Christ comes to put an end to it all. Topic number 3, stoking war in Ukraine. This week we learned that the Pentagon has discovered another $2 billion worth of accounting errors, meaning it can ship another $2 billion worth of weapons to Ukraine to continue that pointless war. The Government Accountability Office reported this earlier this week. The error, according to the report, the result of unclear accounting definitions. They counted the replacement value of the weapons that had been shipped previously rather than replacement value, or rather than depreciated book value. 10 vehicles, this is an example, 10 vehicles valued at $7 million, because that's what it would cost to replace them, $700,000 a piece, counted as zero because, they're older, they're not worth anything. Really? Worth zero, then why are we sending them? Accounting tricks. This allows the Pentagon to send another $2 billion worth of weapons to Ukraine without approval from Congress. Topic number 2, riots in England. Speaking of anger and protests, Brits are angry about that knife attack in Southport I told you about earlier this week. A 17-year-old boy accused of going on a knife rampage at a Taylor Swift-themed dance party. 3 young girls under the age of 10 are dead. 5 other children, ages 6 through 11, in critical condition, 2 female adults who tried to protect them. The 17-year-old, I incorrectly identified earlier this week. He's been identified now officially as Axel Rudakabana. He's a young man born in Cardiff, Wales, of parents who immigrated from Rwanda. Rioting erupted about an hour after thousands of mourners had gathered for a vigil to remember the 3 victims. There were some reports that a man with a knife showed up at the event, which triggered the crowd. But the crowd, more broadly speaking, angry that England is rapidly becoming no longer English. New Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the thuggery and said the protesters hijacked the community's grief. The Home Secretary now looking at whether to ban the English Defence League, which is a movement founded about 15 years ago to counter Muslim immigration to England. The EDL says that they do not want to assimilate, and based on what we saw when we traveled to London back in 2019 to visit the British Museum and sites that Sharon has written about in her supernatural thriller series, The Red Wing Saga, that's not an inaccurate statement, especially in the East End. Anyway, the EDL has not been very influential. But while the British government has been completely ineffective at stopping the flow of small boats of migrants crossing the English Channel from France, mostly young Muslim men of fighting age, the idea that Englishmen and women are rising up to protest the fact that they're losing their country with government help has shocked the British deep state into action. Coming up, making botany safe again. Sort of. That's next on 5 and 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can easily and conveniently stream this incredible new film, Void Earth Cataclysm Before Genesis, right now at skywatchtv.com/stream or on the mobile app for immediate access. However, if you'd like to receive your own hard copy on DVD, Skywatch TV is proud to announce the Void Earth Ultra Collection. When you order this exclusive collection from the Skywatch TV store, you'll receive the brand new documentary from Defender Investigative Films, Void Earth Cataclysm Before Genesis, along with Dr. Thomas Horn and Reverend Donna Howell's best-selling book, Before Genesis, The Unauthorized History of Tohu, Bohu, and the Chaos Dragon in the Land Before Time. These powerful works present astounding revelations like no other, taken directly from the Word of God, the conclusion to the events of Genesis that merges all contributing voices from not only the young and old creationist groups, but the scientific community as well into one balanced and agreeable climax. They reveal precisely how ancient archaeological sites like Göbekli Tepe and the Doorway of the Serpent point irrefutably to an intelligent race of beings here on Earth thriving before the time of Adam and under Lucifer's fallen dominion. They pull back the veil on exactly what the Earth was like during the without form and void era of Genesis 1-2, and so much more, featuring Dr. Michael Lake, Derek Gilbert, Reverend Donna Howell, Gary Stearman, and the late Dr. Thomas Horn in what would become his last documentary appearance ever. But that's not all. You'll also receive 315, The Genesis of All Prophecy by the legendary Rabbi Eric Walker. This prophetic, convicting, and heart-rending book exposes anti-Semitism as Satan's plan to eliminate the Jews and the catastrophic consequences the world will face if this agenda succeeds. Sold separately, all of these items hold a retail value of $75. Yours now for your donation of only $45, which includes free shipping to all U.S. orders. So don't delay. You can scan the QR code on your screen using the camera app on your phone for instant access to this special opportunity. You can also visit us at skywatchtvstore.com or call 1-844-750-4985 and ask for the Void Earth Ultra Collection now.
Item number 1 today, well, who knew botany could be racist? As I've said, why not? Everything else is. The International Botanical Congress has taken a stand against racism by deciding to rename more than 200 photosynthetic species, which include plants, algae, and fungi. These offensive organisms could potentially be interpreted as racist. Over the 6-day conference, the IBC, more than 100 researchers, part of this group, gathered in Madrid, Spain. They voted to create a special committee dedicated to renaming plants and getting rid of offensive slurs in the plant world. One of the racist names is the coastal coral tree, previously known officially as Erythrina caphra. Erythrina caphra. From now on, the tree will be known as Erythrina afra. Why, you ask? Well, that's an excellent question. Because according to botanists, Kafra is derived from the word kafir, which is a racist slur in South Africa used against black people. So rather than calling it kafir, any species with Kafra in the name will now use the African-friendly prefix AFR. So instead of Kafra, it is now Afra, this change taking place with immediate effect. Stop laughing. This is really, really serious. This is a critical, urgent change, people. Plant racism is no joke. Well, the age of the earth, that is a serious topic. Actually has some bearing on your theology. Is it a young earth? Is it an old earth? How do we reconcile dinosaurs with soft tissue preserved inside the bones? Not 65 million years old. But again, how do we reconcile what appears to be incompatible data? There are ways to do it, and we discussed that in the documentary Void Earth, the latest from Defender Investigative Films, and that's the subject of our series on Skywatch TV right now. I was honored to sit in for Joe Artis Horn and anchor the panel for this discussion. Donna Howell, Dr. Michael Lake, our guests. Michael and Donna, along with the late Tom Horn, Gary Stearman, also featured in the documentary itself. Don't miss the programs. They're available right now at skywatchtv.com. All of our video content is always available at the website. You can watch it over the air. One of our partner Christian networks, our broadcast schedule is posted at skywatchtv.com/channels. Now, if you've got a set-top box like Roku or Apple TV, make sure you have the Skywatch TV channel installed. We are told Fire TV is coming soon. There's been some delay at Amazon in approving it, but the channel is in the works. If you've got a Fire TV like we do, you're waiting for that very eagerly. It is coming. Just make sure you've got the Skywatch TV app installed when it's available. Now, you can also watch over the internet, youtube.com/@Skywatch Television or rumble.com/Skywatch TV, or better yet, guarantee we never get canceled. Take a moment, download to your smartphone or tablet the free Skywatch TV app. All of our video content is there. The main program, the women's program, Simply His, these daily news updates, web exclusives. There's a link there to our streaming video site, so you can watch Void Earth right there on your phone if you like, or tablet. Not only that, a calendar of upcoming events, other features as well, like an audio Bible with multiple translations, and it's available for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire, phones and tablets. It is absolutely free. We've got links to their app stores at skywatchtv.com/app. Follow 5 in 10 online, X, formerly Twitter, at 5_in_10. We're on YouTube at 5 in 10. And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert. This is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.